Hey, good morning, everybody. March 21st. I had a date snafu on my video yesterday. Actually, it was March 20th, so I apologize if I confused anybody on the date. Oh my gosh. So, today, March 21st. If you read my earlier post on Facebook, you saw that this old redneck is pissed this morning. Little side note: if you saw the love icon or whatever you want to call it on there, my mom loved that I was pissed this morning. I guess that's a whole other story, but oh my gosh, she told me this morning, no, she just loves me, not that I was pissed. So I'm glad of that. But anyway, this old redneck is a little pissed this morning. If you watched the news any at all, you saw that the New Zealand Prime Minister came out with intent, guidelines, whatever you want to call them, to follow through to make laws to basically ban guns. Now, they'll do it under the disguise that this is, to ban assault weapons, military-style weapons, bad weapons, bad guns. Darn, those guns kill people all the time. But we knew something was coming after the mosque shootings of last week. But I saw NBC News had posted her press conference where she laid out all the guidelines, and I tell you what, people, that's scary as hell. Now, I get part of her reasoning. No, I don't even get part of her reasoning. I can understand why some people would get part of her reasoning. But let's break her words down a little bit in her press conference. She wants to ban assault rifles. Well, that's nothing new, is it? She wants to ban military-style weapons. She's going to ban weapons that have a detachable magazine. Now, think about that. Banning a gun that has a detachable magazine. Now, under the words of large capacity or high capacity, but none of that's spelled out. In fact, I think I saw somewhere where somebody determined that could be 5 rounds or more. So somebody that has a 9mm in their home for protection could not own that gun anymore. And here's the scary part, or more scary parts. There's going to be gun confiscations, mandatory buybacks, mandatory. And when I listened to her press conference, this is the thing that jumped out to me, and I'm going to paraphrase this a little bit, but the meaning is right. She said that in one of her sentences about banning assault rifles, and then she said, and any other weapon that closely resembles a assault weapon. Well, holy hell, that's open for interpretation, isn't it? Now, people here don't understand, I think, just a total horse crap that's going on around the world. Hell, what's going on in our country. But banning any weapons that closely resemble an assault weapon. So, where does that stop? Does that stop just with, like an AR-15 type weapon? Is it, 30-06 that holds 6 shells? Is it a big Bowie knife? People, if we let our government officials take as much liberty, or take as many of our liberties away as what is going on around the world and in New Zealand right now, we are in a world of hurt. Now, for the sake of clarity, I've never wanted to own a assault weapon. I've never wanted an AR-15 or anything like that. It's just not my style. Give me an old Henry, or if I ever get enough money saved up, maybe I get an old Sharps rifle one of these days. That's just the way I am. But holy hell, we cannot allow people in our own country to step on our constitutional rights like is going on in other countries, and yesterday in New Zealand. It also humors me. Sometimes when you're in situations, you gotta laugh or you'll cry. It's always a little humorous to me how our officials want to fix gun deaths. Oh, there's too many gun deaths. Well, one gun death is too many gun deaths, dumbass. Oh, we want to save the children. Well, who doesn't want to save the children? But I'm telling you, if you don't think that the socialist-leaning left, the ultra-left, even some of the mainstream left-wing nut jobs do not want to do the same thing in our country that is going on in New Zealand right now and other countries around the world, you're full of crap. We have got to stand up for our Second Amendment rights. We've got to stand up for everybody's First Amendment rights. And we've got to follow our Constitution. Instead, the naysayers, our legislators, want to solve the problem without solving the problem. We never want to admit where the deficiencies lay. We just want to ban the effect, I guess, not the cause. I tell you too, there's no absolutes. There's no absolute saying that if everybody had God in their life, and I'm not even saying our God, I'm not saying our Christian God. Shoot, if you worshipped a yield sign and you found peace and inner harmony in worshiping that yield sign, great. It's not what I would do. I would not gather around a yield sign and pray. But, if that's what trips your trigger, floats your boat, then do it. I might look skeptically at you, but shoot, people look skeptically at me too, so. But you cannot argue the fact that once we have taken a higher being out of a majority of our lives, out of school, out of work, out of groups, for the sake that we want to appease a couple of rainy-hand little loudmouths, then again, you're not seeing the forest for the trees. We have devalued the family unit as well. Now, I'm not saying that single mothers and single fathers or gay parents of kids, or I'm driving by 2 overhead feed bins. If 2 overhead feed bins wanted to raise a kid and they did a good job, then there you go. But you can't argue the fact that by devaluing the family unit of a mother and a father, and at least 2 strong-willed parents, hasn't hurt our society. So instead of trying to bring back traditional values that we all know are the right thing, traditional values can be interpreted several different ways, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. Traditional values, kindness, empathy, love of your fellow man. We all know what that consists of. You know, if we brought those things back, we wouldn't have to have a gun confiscation going on, a mandatory buyback that's going to be happening in New Zealand, taking away constitutional rights. So, I'm going to get off my high horse. Makes me feel better when I vent. I think that if you're not able to see that this is the way a lot of people in our country would like things to go with what's happening in New Zealand right now, you don't have your eyes open. So I think it's time for a constitutional revolution. And no, I don't mean marching on our Capitol with copies of our Constitution in our hand. Actually, that might not be such a horrible idea. I'm talking about holding our representatives, our senators, and our president accountable for what they do. You know, the other day Rand Paul and 11 other senators voted against President Trump's emergency declaration for the southern border. And they did it, at least the Republicans did it, under the disguise that this goes against the Constitution. I'm not a real big Rand Paul fan, but I tell you what, if you vote your conscience and you vote your that violates our Constitution, and you do it time and time again when you feel that is right, I don't have a problem with him doing that. You know, he votes like that all the time, and hey, that's fine. But these other morons, and that's pretty funny because Jerry Moran from Kansas was one that did it. Moran. Was that a slip of the tongue? I don't think so. They have never let the Constitution bind them in anything they vote for. But yet they pull out the Constitution when voting against Trump's declaration on the southern border. Now, I'm not here to argue the points of a wall or not a wall or whatever. I don't think a wall is going to make any noticeable difference. But don't pull the Constitution out when it's handy for you. Pull the Constitution out and every time you're up for a vote, and make sure that you have a little bit of integrity in that signature or that vote when you push that button, and not just when it's handy for you to use the Constitution as an excuse. So anyway, hey, I'm rambling. Everybody have a good day. We didn't get the 2 things done yesterday that I thought we were going to get done, so hopefully we'll at least get one of those posted. Oh, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, I don't know. Time is just flying by, and there's not enough hours in the day right now to get everything done. But, in all seriousness, call your senators, call your representatives, make sure you hold them accountable, not just on a gun issue or a Second Amendment right, on anything they vote for. Make sure you hold them accountable. I'm telling you, people, we do not want to end up like New Zealand. When was the last country you can remember that banned guns, in part or in whole, where it turned out good for the people? Ask yourself that and see if you can come up with a good answer. I can't. So anyway, wow, the road's bumpy, isn't it? So anyway, we will catch you guys next time. Everybody have a good day, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.